Now, India's bioeconomy is a story of a 12-year scientific revolution. An industry that was once valued at $10 billion in 2014 today has surged to $190 billion. An announcement made by Jitendra Singh, the India Bioeconomy report published every year, says that bioeconomy contributes to 4.25% of the GDP. The industries driving this surge are biofuels, which account for nearly half of the $190 billion valuation, supported by pharmaceuticals, which account for roughly 35%. The startup base too has thickened, almost doubling in a decade. Let's have a deeper look now at the numbers regarding our growth in this sector. So let's give you some more details about where India's bioeconomy stands currently with the help of this graph, and that growth of course has steadily risen, as you can see, of course, over the years, from 2020 to $86 billion, rising to $106.2 billion in 2021. 2022 saw the growth further go up to $137.2 billion. 2023 saw a peak of $151.1 billion. $165.7 billion is where things stood at 2024. And now 2025, the latest figure coming up shows almost $200 billion, $195.3 billion, the figure there for India's bioeconomy. So steady growth, of course, can clearly be seen there. And of course, the total value there, as you can see, $195.3 billion. Could we please go back to that slide? Thank you. 18% has been the growth, of course, for this sector. CAGR rate, of course, has been about 17.8% over the last 5 years. Total biotech startups currently in place are 11,855. They employ a core workforce of about 350,000 to 4 lakh individuals, and total investment for this sector have been $4.6 billion. Now, clearly, of course, if we talk about the entire scale of the bioeconomy sector and what are the sector drivers, what is the breakup? Well, let's explain that for you. As you can see, the bulk of it is actually bio-industrial, that's $90.2 billion, and biopharma accounts for $64.5 billion. Bioagri is a figure of $14.6 billion, and bioservices is $26 billion. Let's quickly now open this up as well. Let's get in some perspective from our experts who are live with us. Rajiv Gupta, senior economist, is joining us live. We also have Dr. P.S.V. Rao, senior doctor, live with us. Tutu Dhawan, auto expert, also joins the broadcast. Let me make a start with you first, Rajiv, on what you believe is the potential for this particular sector. How crucial is the bioeconomy in contribution for our overall GDP, and how has this growth been achieved? It's not something that's happened overnight, but as we've seen in the last 6 to 7 years, the scale of growth every year has been enormous, leading up to the figure that we stand at today.
Uday Pratap, thanks for having me. I think, first I would like to make a very generic statement. See, whatever we started off with Make in India is probably now starting to take more and more shape. I was sitting with somebody else also, and we were talking about some other sector, which is the steel sector. And suddenly we find that there is a lot of work, etc., which has started to happen there. As far as the bioeconomy is concerned, I think the overall global bioeconomy stands at about $4 trillion. So we are still a very small percentage of that. But I think it is something which has a lot of potential. There is a lot of work that is happening on all fronts. We have biofuels, which is, I think, fueling our own growth rate beyond us, because the ethanol that we are blending, etc., is all biofuel, which all comes under bioeconomy. And there is then, of course, biopharma that we are talking about. And there has been a lot of startup boom on this side, which has led to the increase, which is this massive increase, which is tenfold increase, and about 4.8% of the GDP coming from bioeconomy is a wonderful thing that has happened to the country. I think I always have said in the past that we have been moving with a very, very thought out strategy in most of the areas, and to my mind, it is all starting to give results as we talk.
Yes. Dr. P.S.V. Rao, which have been the main drivers for this sector, and how, do you see the growth for this sector panning out really in the next 5 years? We've seen how enormously things have progressed in the last few years. Where do things now head, and what are the main drivers for the bioeconomy sector according to you?
Good evening, Uday, and thanks for having me on the show. See, if the biotechnology industry has 4 major sectors and they have been given a color code. The red one is for the medical side. The green is to do with agriculture. The blue is to do with marine and aquaculture industry. And the white is where we have this biofuels, all this ethanol. As you are aware, we are already on 20% ethanol in petrol, and we are talking about biodiesel also. So that is color coded as the white part of the biotechnology industry. And it also has bioplastics in it. So we have biofuel, bioplastics, and various other things like enzymes and various other chemical processes involved in it for detergents and various other solvents, etc. So in the pharma part of it, in the medical part of it, the red one, we have various 4 various sectors. In those 4 sectors, one is to do with the pharma and medical, another is to do with the vaccines, another is to do with the genomics, where we are doing genetic studies to be able to either correct the genetic problems or the now famous CAR-T therapies which have come in, where you are actually altering the immune system of the body. Certain cells, we take out those cells, alter them so that they become very specific to the cancer or whatever problem is happening. So these are all really cutting edge technologies. Now the importance you asked about this for the future, it is crucial for the Indian economy because we are very dependent on the oil and gas from the Gulf. And the Iran-US war has shown us what it can do to our economy. Now, that is why biofuel, bioplastics, and this biogas is crucial for us to get independence for such dependence on. It affects our economy because shortage of these supply chains causes a real damage to our economy, and as you are aware, it is the biggest import we have. So if we can become independent on our own bio sources, it will improve our economy. It will also improve our environment because instead of burning fossil fuels and having pollution, we will get out of that. And the bioplastics are all recyclable. And the other thing is it will increase our employment because we won't be dependent on others. All this will do it. And there's a whole lot of startups and industries, I'm very happy to say, which are really pushing this field of biotechnology. And there's a lot of research also going on. And in addition to these 4 fields which I mentioned, the red, the white, the green, and the blue, there is the service industry which is involved in it. The AI is now helping us identify and test out new drug molecules. There's a lot of development going on vaccines. So it is a tremendous amount of development going on.
So a lot underway right now. Tutu Dhawan, how has India become this bio hub, and what more can we do to to continue this progress in the next few years as well, because this is something that obviously is contributing to the economy, helping our growth overall for our GDP, is also a big employer as well. A lot of employment potential through the startups that are there in the bio space. So how has this really been achieved, and how can we continue the progress despite the adversities that we see around us?
Yes.
Mr.
See,
Dhawan, that
the
question is
government
for
came
you.
out with
Tutu Dhawan,
three key.
that question is for you.
Sorry. Hi, Uday. It's nice that I'm here with you on the panel and our esteemed panelists. I think they have already, Mr. Rao has already told us a lot of things that the biofuel can do for us and the byproducts which are already in process of boosting our industries as well as the petroleum products. Now, all this information obviously was not available otherwise, which Mr. Rao has given to us, and I'm glad that I have also learned a lot from his information, which I also think that this is going to help us in our petroleum industry to a very large extent. If our E30 and E85 become successful, like it is in Brazil, I'm sure, our import will be substituted with our local products here, and we should be able to, get out of an ugly situation like what we've been in now this time with the West Asia war. And hopefully, with refinement of industry and even processing and learning more about the byproducts that can be used in various industrial materials, it is going to help not only us but also the financial status of the country, whereby we will be able to control the usage of dollars and be self-sufficient to as much as possible.
Okay, and of course, as far as now, Rajiv, this surge is concerned, how is it helped our entrepreneurial sector? How has it helped the growth rate in our country? How has it also helped employment, Rajiv Gupta? What are the kind of statistics and percentage you can give us about how much the bioeconomy is helping the GDP growth rate and also employment in our country?
So Uday, we first have to also understand that there is an overall surge for ESG. So, ESG means environment, sustainability, etc. So the bioeconomy actually leads to more ESG goals being also met. So, see, question is in a layman's language. Basically, we have been looking at things which are biodegradable, etc. So if we look at traditional plastics, etc., they are not biodegradable. So there has been a search to try and find out what are the products, what are the materials which can be used, which are biodegradable, which are recyclable, which are reusable, etc. So all this has also led to the thinking going on that side. You see, you first need to start thinking on some side. So this has, and the Indian government policy has aided in doing all of this, because we have also set up ESG goals for ourselves. We have also set up targets for ourselves in terms of, say, at 2030 we want it to be a 300 trillion 300 billion dollar this thing from the bioeconomy. So all of this is kind of growing at a steady pace. Obviously, since this is a new sector, it requires a lot of new innovation that keeps happening. So if you will really look at it, you will find that most of this has been led by new entrepreneurship. Obviously, when new entrepreneurship happens, it leads to more employment, and from an insignificant portion of the economy's percentage, it has come to a stage where it is already contributing to 5% of the economy, which is a fairly large number. So if you really look at, say, automotive or something, that would also be 8-9%. The large economic sectors that you see around you are, say, automobile, etc. They also contribute 8-9% of the GDP. Here, there is a new sector which has quickly taken up, and it has come up to a 5%. More than that, see, but question is that this is a new thing, and we have stiff competition from other bioeconomies like China, like US, etc. But there is still far more scope in terms of improving this. See, what I'm trying to say is that there are already established fields. In those established fields, creating your competitive advantage and getting market share out of them becomes more difficult. This is a new area, and because it is a new
Yeah.
area,
Yeah.
it is
And we
you
have
have
been
the
seeing,
overall.
in this area, how Tutu Dhawan in biofuels, there has been this surge, this huge interest in biofuels, and and this entire energy crisis that we've seen after the Middle East war has increased energy diversification needs and interests. But there has been this entire shift towards biofuels, which is obviously helping the sector as well, Mr. Dhawan.
Yeah, Uday, you're right. The fact is that you've seen, about 2 decades back when Jatropha plant was brought in and we were trying to biodieselize the diesel itself. Of course, I don't know for what reason it was not very successful. But now that this crisis has happened, I think it is now mandatory for us to think on such sort of options whereby our wheels should not get stopped. And the wheel not getting stopped means that we need to have alternates, and bio alternates are available. As we have already seen that bio products are inflammable and they can be used in combustion, and they can be tweaked to use in high efficiency machines like automobiles and aircraft also, there are proposals for it to be blended with aviation kerosene. So all these things are going to be the future that we will be seeing, and the bio stuff that is now coming out from our byproducts of agriculture will definitely be a boon for the world, not only us Indians.
Yes, also, the biotech startups, of course, are there, Dr. Rao, but also the pharmaceutical sector as well has seen a complete revolution. This pharma sector boom, how much is it also leading to India's progress of the bioeconomy? And can we now be, make in India a medicine hub as well for the world?
Yes, Uday, pharma is making big progress. We are already providing 40% of the generic drugs for the world market. Not only that, India has, we have always been blamed for not doing enough research and development, and always trying to come out with, as soon as the patents are over, trying to copy the foreign drugs and provide generic drugs by other alternative technologies. But now, for the first time, we have had an Indian company coming out with a new antibiotic, which has already been accepted abroad, which is a big development. It is for bacteria E. coli, but it is a big development. Now, AI is being used to quicken the pace of identification of a molecule, suitable drug molecule, and then to design how to test it out, and then to prognosticate as to what would be the chances of success. So the whole drug development process is quickening up. And as you know, that India may not have developed the AI model, but we have become very quick at applying those AI facilities that are now become available. And our drug development and our vaccine development is now progressing very rapidly. And this is good both for us and for the world. And do remember that we have 1/6 the world's population. So we have a huge market internally to support our research, and we once it is established, it's very good for us to export. It is very useful to have your own established internal market for any industry.
Okay.
Because it ensures.
All right. Point taken. Point taken. We've run out of time. I'm afraid my thanks to all of our guests for joining us on this discussion. We are quickly